you guys hear me? April, hello, good to see you. Is the music too loud? I'm not sure. I don't even know if you guys can hear it, because last time apparently y'all couldn't even hear the music. So I don't know if it's like too loud or not loud enough. It looks like I'm live though. Alright, let me just set up one last thing. Yeah, today I just want to do kind of a chill... Hey, okay, you know what? I know it's cheesy, okay? But like, I need it to be like, you know, no, non-copyright, okay? So I just went with something like this. I'll turn it down. Will that make you feel better? Okay. Hello Ryan, good to see you. Okay, I guess we'll see. It's gonna be pretty chill, laid back. Just trying to figure out how to. Well, I gotta get another source here on OBS because I want to transition to a different screen here. Oh yeah, so if by any chance you guys happen to be missing a Blasphemous Bible stream, Aaron told us out of the blue last night. He was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, no, they're not streaming today." And then I forget what he said. I think he had something to do or something that his wife told him to do that he forgot he had to do. So, he was just like, "Nah, I guess we can't." I'm like, "All right then." So that's why there's no Blasphemous Bible today. However, the next Blasphemous Bible show, that's actually something that we have to decide. It might be, I don't know, I'll try to swing for Wednesday or Thursday, because obviously Wednesday is not in the, you know, I'm not doing anything Wednesdays anymore, at least for now. So maybe I'll use that opening. However, I don't know what all that I'm doing next. Why does this keep going away? Like, honestly, the biggest thing is I just want like everyone to be able to hear me without the background music being too overpowering. Because I've definitely seen a ton of streams where that's the case. I think it's this one. I see. Okay. Okay, we're not there yet, so. Did I freeze? Oh, did I freeze? I think I froze, didn't I? Fucking hell. God damn it. Alright, I guess I'll do this. Okay. Do I really have to do this? Hold on. Yeah, I gotta figure out what else to do here. Am I glitching sometimes? Like, cause I see myself moving, but am I glitching? What the fuck? Hold up. Okay, I need to know if the glitching is going over to you as well. But it looks like I'm glitching. Professional streamer. Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. Okay. So now you guys just see a screen. But if I go to... Yeah, that's what it looked like I was doing. But now if I go to something else... Okay. And while I'm doing the preview to myself, it looks better. Okay. Okay. I think we're all right now. Think everyone's doing good. Which books or authors would I recommend for textual criticism? Oh boy, that's a good question. I mean, there's a shit ton of commentaries that you'd have to read. I think that's the best way to learn it, honestly. I don't even remember reading any books on it. I read a shit ton of books that included stuff about textual criticism, but never like something on the topic specifically. Like, I've definitely read stuff about, like, you know, the results of textual criticism. So, like, you know, plenty of Bart Ehrman's work, he is a textual critic, right? So if you read a lot of his work, you'll kind of get the idea. What I think it might have been his dissertation. Bart Ehrman's dissertation, I think, was called The Orthodox Corruption of Scripture. And in it, he definitely delves into a lot of the textual history and textual criticism. Those are definitely some of the bigger topics of that work. But the book itself is more about, you know, the results of the study, right? But aside from that, there's a lot of like very detailed textual commentaries you'd have to read. So like specifically like for Matthew, right? Actually, you know what? I think Bruce Metzger. What am I talking about? Bruce Metzger has a book on it. It's literally called The Text of the New Testament. I have the 3rd edition. It's actually co-authored by Bart Ehrman, I think, while he was one of his students. So yeah, Bruce Metzger's The Text of the New Testament. It's, what is it? It's Transmission, and then it has a longer subtitle, but I think that is absolutely part of it. I think in that book, he absolutely talks about the actual methods of textual criticism. Can't believe I forgot about that. I used it recently. So yeah. If you're still here, that's definitely the book I would go to. But other than that, I would just recommend reading a lot of like very detailed commentaries. You'll kind of pick it up along the way. You know, wait, hold up here. The Dino will be streaming with Kip. Okay. You know what? I will give him some competition. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be, here, and I'm going to be present. And that's the plan. I don't think you really need anything more than that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I am the only one working hard of the Blasphemers Bible crew. And Aaron's only famous because of his debates at a time when the internet... Yeah, that is true. But the thing is, that might be the reason he's famous, but I think that another reason that he maintains that popularity is because I think he's a good author, right? So a lot of his actual arguments, you're absolutely right, are not like totally like original. That, you know, there's not a lot that's novel about his work. And I think that if someone's an academic, they are not going to be reading a lot of Bart Ehrman's work. If you read his book, Forgery and Counterforgery, one of his more recent like actual academic works, it's really good. I very much enjoyed it. And he actually like has a real argument, and he's going back to the basics of actually arguing for something. And I think it's really good. It's one of my favorite books of all time. But I think that when it comes to broader biblical topics, I think he's a great communicator. And unfortunately, We don't have enough of that. So there are so many authors who concern themselves just with the jargon and stuff like that. And I think he is very good at simplifying these complex topics. Now, unfortunately, I think that he simplifies it a little too much, where you get, I've seen so much of this. You get like these TikTok creators, especially on TikTok, where like it's very short form content, but you get a lot of these content creators that will read a book or like an article or something from a pop scholarship source, and they will immediately think that they know the whole story and then try to teach people about it. I don't mind the whole, if you try to teach somebody about it, it's actually helping you remember the information better and learn it. I don't mind that as a way of learning things. I do that a lot. But when I make the long form content that I do, I try to actually know the topic beforehand to like a good degree. Let's see, what was a recent one? Like what was it for? Let's go with my favorite one, the Flat Earth Bible one. That took years of study, and I acknowledge how complicated the topic is. And after understanding the topic to a confident degree, then I try to teach about it while leaving the door open for other interpretations. And I think that what pop scholarship has done, while it is making the subject more interesting to people that would generally not be interested in such a thing, when it gets all poppy, I'm gonna put it that way, when it gets popularized, being put into that kind of short form format, you'll lose all that nuance, and then people watching that content, or even sometimes the content creators themselves, will be kind of pushed into ahistorical hypotheses. And you're right, yeah, a little bit of hope, yes. Academia does move slowly, very slowly, as it should. There is, what I've noticed actually is, after something is, well, let's just for simplicity's sake, call it discovery. Whenever academia makes a discovery, whenever academia makes a discovery, it usually takes like 10, 15, sometimes 20 years to actually precipitate to the populace. I've noticed that. So like maybe a few years after like the publication of some landmark or some like watershed work in a field, only then will you have like the general populace talking about it. It took a while for like anyone to start talking about let's say, for example, the documentary hypothesis. It was already known in academia for a long time. Well, actually, no, it's a little bit different, right? Because that's way older, so it's not really fair to compare them. Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. So, in scholarship, there, like in, let's say the past, let's say 15 years ago, or maybe about 10 years ago, actually, there was a book that came out called and I've referenced this before, The Joseph Story Between Egypt and Israel. And it argues that the Joseph story itself is a later addition to Genesis, that it's kind of meant to tie in the Genesis narrative and the Exodus narrative, and that was added in either the late Persian or the early Hellenistic period. And I think in that book, that series of papers, actually, I think that they really argued for it well. And the thing is, that has not reached the mainstream yet. And I kind of see that not just from the stuff that I read on like academic biblical or something like that, but I have not seen that precipitate out yet, but I know that it will, because first they wanted to like give what was it? Yeah, people started talking about the documentary hypothesis, and then they started talking about, oh, but what about the supplementary hypothesis and the fragmentary hypothesis, and then you talk about like solutions to the synoptic problem or something, and people are talking about Q and the, potentially you could have a two source or two document hypothesis, whatever it is, right? All these different solutions. But the thing is, these arguments have already been had in academia like a decade or more beforehand. So like all this stuff precipitates very slowly to the populace. And I think that recently, within the past 5 years, there has been a slight push in biblical studies to argue for Matthean posteriority, which is the idea that Matthew was actually the last of the synoptics written. And I think that there's some actually very strong arguments for it. I'm not going to be able to go over it today, but there's a book called The Synoptic Problem 2022, and it was Proceedings of the Council of at Loyola, I think. There's multiple authors, but a lot of the authors in that publication do argue for Matthean posteriority. And I don't see that becoming popular in the mainstream until, 10 to 15 years from now. So I think that's when we'll see some of these newer hypotheses that are really only argued for within the past, at least a bigger push for it. There were people arguing for it earlier than that, but you really see a big push for it in academia, and then only like 10, 15, maybe 20 years later, I'll just say 15 on average, 15 years later, you see a push for it in the populace. Are you asking what the book was called or what the hypothesis was called? You know what? I do actually want to write a book. And as Satan has mentioned, I have written a book and it was trash. Don't buy it. Don't read it. It's bad. But I want to write a better one. I was thinking actually about taking my video on biblical cosmology and turning that into a book. I think I could actually do a good job writing something like that. But I'm currently doing this commentary. You see up on the screen all this Greek stuff. So this is a synopsis. We did cover this. I think you guys can see that. Yeah, we did cover this last week. So you see at the top here, you have all the four Gospels paralleled. Yeah, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And then these just put the stories that are the same or very similar right next to each other, so you can compare them that way. So this is it's called a synopsis. It's a very useful tool. And I'm doing right now I'm doing my textual commentary on Matthew. So that's why that's there. But yeah, that's that's kind of the goal of today's stream. I'm going to be working on my commentary. And currently, I am at the end of Matthew 10. Whoever is... so I'm from verse 40. I'm reading off of my own commentary here. Whoever is accepting you accepts me, and the one accepting me accepts the one who sent me. The one accepting a prophet in the name of a prophet will receive a reward of a prophet, and whoever is accepting righteousness because of the name of righteousness, he'll receive a reward of righteousness. And should he give only one of these little ones a cold drink to drink because of... Oh, wait, hold on. This is it. This is the one where like I had to look back on. So in verse 42. So let's go down to verse 42 here. Where is it? Yep. Uh, should he give to drink one of these little ones? Okay. What is that, a cold drink? Oh, a cup. Okay, so right here, yeah, this is a very weird construction. So it kind of be like in the name of. So this I was struggling with a construction like this for a while, but I think that Luz actually argues that this would be that like in the name of is the best way, right? Because you have there are different ways to translate this because like the preposition or prepositions in Greek are generally so malleable. So yeah, should he give only one of these little ones a cold drink to drink? In the name, this would be in the name of a disciple. Yeah, truly. Yeah, truly, I say to you, he will not lose his reward. So yeah, let's take a look at some of this stuff. Did I note this already? I might have. Hold on. I'm not sure if I did. Okay, I don't think I did. My commentary. So you see this little box up here and this little dash at the end. So this section, everything from the box to the dash, is omitted in some amount of manuscripts. So if we go down to verse 41, and we see this box here, we know that this is Codex Bezae. So Codex Bezae actually doesn't include this part of the verse. So the second half of verse 42 is not included in Codex Bezae. So that's something I have to write down. I feel like this happens a lot, especially with Codex Bezae, actually. Am I able to speak Greek? No. I mean, I can pronounce it, right? So if I go up here, and I'll just read the stuff that from starting from here, verse 41. Hodekomenos prophetein es onoma prophetu miston prophetu hold on. Limpsetai. Okay. So this is so I can pronounce this stuff, but like no one really speaks ancient Greek anymore, right? So like there's not really like a purpose. There's not really a necessity to do that. Okay, there we go. Cat, what do you want? I don't know what my cat wants. Always gotta complain about something, right? Right? Meow? You're fed, your boxes are clean, you had something to drink. Never know what this cat wants, I swear. Yeah, he must. Yeah, that's a good one, Satan. Let's continue on here. So yeah, so in Codex Bezae, this is completely omitted. And let's see, this one, right? So these little ones, right? Just on this side here, one of these little ones. Little ones always refers to his disciples. But apparently there's some significant or some change in there. Oh, the least of these, which is actually very interesting. So they use the superlative. Like this is just like regular adjective up here, but they use the superlative here. I think this is based on superlative. Yeah, so multiple manuscripts use the let's see. Okay. These little ones, the least of them. Yeah, so it'd be like the least of these little ones. Or just the least of, okay. Alright, so some manuscripts actually do. I think that's significant. I don't know about you, but I think it's significant. I think there's definitely some relation I want to make to the parable with the sheep and the goats. Oh, wait. Hold up. Right, okay. I see, okay. I fucked up somewhere in my actual commentary. Yeah, I did, okay. That's okay, I'll fix it. Yeah, so Codex Bezeum, it's the second half of the verse. And then for verse 42, some manuscripts say least of these. So I always want to cite these two, right? Because let's see. Well, I don't think like the average person is gonna know, you know, what these minuscules are, or what, you know, the sigla D is. I do want to cite the pages for this, so that's 149. Okay. All right. So that's verse 42. Let's see if there's anything else significant here. Let's see, something with water. Okay. Okay, nothing too serious, I don't think. So these are, is this transposed, I think? No receiver's reward, yeah, okay. Yeah, the reward will not be, he will not receive. Yeah, that's fine. It's just changing in, well, not change. You change the cases too, but it's not really it doesn't change any of the meanings. Okay, here we go. So now we're on Matthew 11, and I do know that there's a pretty significant one in Matthew 11. Is it Matthew 11:3? No, Matthew 11:2. Right, that was the really weird one. That one was giving me problems from the understanding. So we'll get into that in just a minute here. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Cats do always want attention. He is, you know, now he's just chilling. He's just chilling now. But he basically looks the same. (1011 AD) and some monk was live streaming the text he was illuminating. That's actually, that'd be pretty cool. I'd watch that. I'd watch that. Time traveling monk copies texts. Or like, I don't know, making a fancy manuscript or something. One of those that you're gonna find in a museum many years later. I mean, listen. I would show the cat, but right now he's sleeping. I'm not gonna. If I wake him up, he's not gonna leave me the fuck alone. So, but yeah, let's talk about some of this stuff. So it looks like you know, it's funny. So the very common construction in the Gospel of Matthew is it says that like Jesus, when he finished speaking these words or something like that. It happens all the time in Matthew. So this one, yeah, and it happened when Jesus finished when he finished. Is this commanding? Yeah, I think this is commanding. Diatason, I think it's commanding. Giving instructions too. Okay, yeah, giving instructions too. I had to look it up real quick. So when he finished giving instructions to his 12 disciples, but because the construction when he finished speaking these words, or when he finished these words, is so common, it looks like you can see here in some manuscripts, it looks like the Vulgate, so in the Latin, and I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what FF is. So in some manuscripts, the words it's just these words. That's what we translate it as. So when Jesus finished these words, and then it goes on to say that he was giving instructions to the disciples, the 12 disciples. So it doesn't like change the meaning of anything. It might just be like a later. There'd be no reason to remove it, right? So this is probably not original because I cannot picture a world in which you would remove this. There'd be absolutely zero reason to. Something so Matthean, there's no reason to remove it. So it would find its way into the text later. And plus, it exists among a very small minority of manuscripts, including the Latin. So it's not definitely not original, I'd say. It's not even like really significant, but yeah, it definitely found its way in there. So I just find that interesting. Okay, so you got up from there to teach. Oh, this is actually super interesting right here. So I don't know if you can you guys see my highlights? Yeah, you guys can. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see what I was highlighting. Hold on. Okay. Oh, why is it in German? Why is the title in German? This is a German publication. So like German is the primary language of the authors, I think. And like they obviously have like some English in there, but this is yeah, if you want to look this up, so the actual book itself, this version, is called the Synopsis Quator Evangeliorum. That's what it's called. So yeah, like they have like this English here, and I don't know if that's supposed to be Latin or another Latin-based language, or Italian. I don't fucking know. So I don't know if someone wants to tell me what that. But yeah, that's just how the titles in here are. The titles in here are in German. Let's see. But either way, this interesting thing right here. So this is called an articular infinitive, where you have the infinitive. This would be to teach right here, and then this is an article, and this is specifically a genitive article. And each article, depending on the case, when it's combined with an infinitive, has a slightly different meaning. With a genitive article and an infinitive, it means like in order to do something, with the purpose of doing that. So, yeah, he got up from there in order. Is that he got up from? No, I don't think so. Left. I think he left. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, so he left from there. In order to teach and to proclaim or preach in their cities. And I think one coming up here, this one is actually kind of significant, I think. But we'll compare in a second here. John heard in prison the works of Christ, or of the Christ, sending. Okay, this is where it gets really weird. So in the text that we have, what every critical translator or critic goes for is that he sent through his disciples. Through. This is dia, through. And if we compare, let's see. In this one, it says, in Luke at least, the parallel account, it says two. Duo, and dia. So while it's, you can't, I'm not really sure if you could say that there's not like word for word copying here in these two. These are different sentences entirely. But there's the argument over whether or not this word right here, whether or not this preposition is actually supposed to be two, because it would make a lot more sense that he sent two of his disciples and they said to him. But I think this is in is this the third person singular? This is the third person singular. That's the thing. So we're left with in a bit of a pickle. So if we go down to their textual note here, this is in verse 2. Another textual note. Yeah, sometimes they just add a name for posterity's sake. Yeah, okay. So wait, is that the right one? Yes, it is. Okay. So the word is sometimes in a look at these manuscripts. Look at that. In a whole bunch of them. Actually, this last one too here. It's changed with duo. So some manuscripts say that he sent two of his disciples instead of he sent through his disciples. Because there's a couple of different ways that we could go about this, right? And they're split, right? Because these are the ones that I have highlighted right now that say two, but the ones supporting dia are all these. So now we're kind of left with, what the fuck are we supposed to do with all these different readings? And this is where shit gets really fucking interesting. And I'll read off my commentary in a second. Let me just catch up with some of these comments. What languages am I able to read besides English and Greek? Russian as well. German, I guess. But my German's not as good. I took, one semester. They said I was really good at it, which is nice. I do have a German grammar book that eventually I plan on getting back into German. But I was specifically trying to find a German grammar book that was for academics because, I don't plan on speaking it much, right? Ich spreche bisschen Deutsch, it's not I don't know that much. So I don't really want to learn to speak, right? I want to learn German so I can read the academic literature that's published in German, because classics is filled with German papers. Yeah, I mean, I'll call Koine Greek older, but although I have studied more than just Koine, right? Koine is this specific dialect. Like right here on screen, this is Koine, and it's very, very easy. If we compare it with let's say Herodotus or Thucydides, like those are very different forms of Greek. They're still Greek, but they're very different forms, and those are much harder. But like primarily you study Attic and Koine, and that's because, for the biggest reason, is that those are the things that we have the most access to. We have a whole bunch of stuff in Koine. We have the fucking New Testament in Koine. We have a bunch of stuff in Attic, and then we have later texts, like later books that were written in a Koine milieu, but they were Atticized, which basically means they were archaized. They were written with like Attic in mind. They were trying to replicate even for them it would have been, you know, like almost like 500 years ago or something, right? So like if you're writing in like the 2nd century trying to sound like someone from Athens, so we have plenty of books that are written like that from the ancient world, that's trying to sound older than they actually are. Like if we were to try to write like Shakespeare today, like it could still be totally legible, but that's that was just a style that they like to do. So all right, let's see here. All right, so yeah, this is like I was saying, look at all these differences. You have duo existing in this first half here, where they say two, and then like if we take the original reading to be dia, there would be a reason to change it to duo, because you want to line it up with the account in Luke. But also look how many still have dia. So let's we're basically like evenly split on this. So let's see. But then you're also dealing with this this third person singular. So you would have to, like, who is the he, right? Or who is the singular that's referring to? So it could be John, right? John the Baptist. So John said to him through his disciples. So that is an option. Or we could have, John sent two of his disciples. It would be a partitive genitive in that case. Two of his disciples. And then you're still left with this one being weird, right? Still left with a third person singular. So let me read to you what I have so far for this, because I did read. I did write a little bit down here. So yeah, Matthew makes some kind of grammatical error somewhere, but it's unclear where. Yeah, in verse 2, John sends his disciples. John was in prison when he heard about the things Jesus was doing. The text says he sent through his disciples. But verse 3 begins with he said. John is in prison and can't speak to Jesus directly, so who is? If the text said they said to him, it would make more sense, but it doesn't. And in order to line up with the version of the story in Luke, some manuscripts substituted through with two. So John sent two of his students. This would make even more sense of the text, but it is unlikely to be original. So this probably means that John spoke through his students. Let's see here. So the text I have in the thumbnail. Textual Guide to the Greek New Testament from Roger Olmanson. He just hits on a lot of the big stuff. Let's see what he says about this, though. Instead of dia, ton mathaton autou, so instead of through his disciples, a reading that is widely supported by ancient manuscripts of different types of text. Most manuscripts have the reading to of his disciples, And as we have seen, he's saying, well, most manuscripts, but like I'm not like he's not. This doesn't have every single manuscript, right? But it's almost evenly split here, like on the significant ones. So I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. This variant reading is the result of a change made to agree with the parallel account in Luke 7:18. The structure of some languages will require translators to indicate whether John sent all of his disciples or whether he sent out some but not all. The intended sense is most likely that he sent some of his disciples. Other languages may require the translator to indicate whether John sent a few or many of his disciples. Yeah, so this actually doesn't tell us much. I'm going to be honest here. Because I don't think... Because he's not really acknowledging the difficulty of the third person singular. Let's see. So now, I have here the Expositors, Greek New Testament. This was released, this entire volume, or this entire series, I guess, was released in the 50s. And in the 50s, this was like the thing to go to. This was the go-to book series. So, let's see if they have anything better for us. Okay. Wait, did they not include it? Like they also note that it's the Duo too is a harmonistic simulation to Luke. I agree. Okay, so the news set John on musing and led to a message of inquiry through his disciples, possibly the same men who brought the news. Okay, so this is okay, yeah, so he's sent to Jesus by them, of course, is what it says. So okay, so Guten Abend in die Runde. Okay, so I know what Guten Abend means, good evening. I don't know what Runde means, so you're gonna have to help me out there. So he also goes with, they're possibly the same men who brought the news. There would be a constant coming and going between Galilee and Machaerus. The construction is Hebraistic. Yeah, sent by the hand of. Okay. So I get that. Sent by the hand of. So he's speaking through them, yeah. And I'm gonna note that it's a Hebraistic construction. And this is... Wait, what is it? Yeah, I'm just gonna write down here. Expositors. Am I doing that right? No, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about right. Now I gotta quote the page. And that is 170. Yeah. Yeah, this I kind of wonder about the construction, speaking through somebody. Because I know God does it a lot, right? But I don't actually know how many times it's used for beings that are not divine. So I want to look back into that where you speak through somebody. Like, I'm gonna have to go back and look at like how kings talk to each other or talk to someone. Like, does it also use that construction? So I just want to double check, because if it's used for kings as well, then, or like for other people, then there's something divine about it. But if not, there might be something for it. There might be something to it. All right, let's continue on here. That's all I'm gonna write for now, but it does look like, yeah, it does look like most do go with Dia. I guess yeah. I don't see a reason why you change it back, right? Like, if it said duo, you wouldn't change it to Dia. That, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Let's see. So verse 3. God damn it. Okay. Oh. They just give a different word here altogether. Surely that's a mistake. So So yeah, anyways, he, that would be John, said to him, okay, so are you the one coming, or should we look for... Yeah, or should we seek another? Should we look for another? And Jesus answered and said to him, okay, so sometimes this is changed to, is this working? Grazomenos? I gotta fucking look it up. I think, is that the one working? Or, like, working? Right, okay. I think it's that, but I'm not 100% sure. Wait. Did anyone read that? Ergazomnos, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so it would be the person working. Okay. Or should we wait for another? Interesting change there. Also in Bizet, it does seem to make that change. I'm not sure if it's just the one manuscript, so I'm guessing it's just a mistake, because like erkomenos, I can see how that would be mistaken for ergazomenos, I guess. If you're like talking really fast or something. And you're like copying down what you hear, like I could see that being a mistake made somewhere along the way. Must have fallen out pretty fucking quick though. The demons spoke through the host there. Well, speaking through the host is different than like sending someone. Like if I sent it would be a similar construction to like, okay, so like if I sent my dad to go talk to like my grandmother or something, and then like someone telling the story said, oh, Lawrence said to his grandfather through his dad. Like that's the construction we're talking about. So I'm wondering if, like, I'd have to check back into the actual text. So the yeah, I have to check the actual grammatical construction in some other places. So this would be the is this like the disabled, or like this is supposed to be the lame, right? I'm guessing, because this is walking around. So koloi, where are we at here? Yeah, the blind gain their sight and the disabled walk around. So this part, the disabled walk. Let me check real quickly here. No, we're not at the next big one. Okay. Oh, whoops. So if we go to, this is also something that happens a lot. Where they just change the word order, right? So in some manuscripts, oh, whoa, this is weird. That's just like omitted in a couple witnesses. That's funny. Okay, so that's Clement and Bizet. It's omitted. Okay. So the so it doesn't say and, right? It just gets rid of and. So it says that the blind regain sight, disabled walk around. So nothing significant. But yeah, you have some of these word order changes, as you can see here. The dead rise and Ptokoi. Poor, right? Yeah, this would be the poor evangelize, right there. They bring the good news. This is as you can see, this is the same this is the same root word as like euangelizontai. So like and just like euangelion is like the gospel, right? The good news or the good message, I guess. So the poor would do that, but it looks like they do change the order in some manuscripts. So if we go down here to this note, first some manuscripts have and the poor will evangelize, and then it says and the dead will rise. But either way, not significant. That's omitted in some manuscripts. No one cares. It's just conditional. Um, yeah, so like Justin Martyr. He actually changes the order of the thing entirely. See? He maintains like the same idea, right? That the poor will evangelize, the blind will see and will not oh man, what is that? And you will not I'm not sure what that means. Let's look back into that. It's in the second person plural. I know that much. Unless this is just like some weird form of a word. Exclusively in the New Testament, by the way. Oh, right. Okay, so it's from Tsunemi. Okay, I should have guessed that. And you will not understand. You will not, bring together, understand. Usually it means understand. So, like in the New Testament. So, yeah, we'll go with that. So, Justin Martyr has a different, slightly different tradition. It's all the same things, but they're just in a different order, you know? So, again, I wouldn't call that like a significant difference or anything. So verse 7 here. So, but after going, but after they went, Jesus began to speak to the crowds about John. I'm guessing this is just. Oh, so this is so in Syriac, or in one Syriac manuscript. After these things, it's not a. There's no actual change in meaning. This is just a genitive absolute, and the other one uses just the word that actually means after. Like it would be, like this one uses metatauta, and this one just has a genitive absolute, but it means the same thing. Genitive absolutes are really weird. If you guys ever end up studying Greek, they are really weird because it's when the noun and the verb, or I should say the subject and the verb, are both in the genitive, but they are meant to be read as like active indicatives, like in like present tense stuff, right? So like if you were to literally translate it word for word, it would be like of them, what was it, be like but of these, god damn it, yeah, of them going, of going, like that's not you can't really do it the same way. So yeah, genitive absolutes are weird. But you know what, it's even weirder that you don't really see that much. It's actually a what's effectively a dative absolute, which I didn't even know existed until I started reading Matthew in Greek. There are a few places actually, that have what is effectively a dative absolute, where it's the exact same kind of thing, but with a dative instead of a genitive, which it's just very, very uncommon from my understanding. Considering I've literally never heard of the thing before, it'd be pretty uncommon. But let's continue on here and see where we're at. So this right here. Wait, hold on. Go out to sea. Oh, yeah, what do you got to see? These transposed, so they switch places in some manuscripts. This is verse 8. Okay. Oh yeah, so what did you go out to see? A man being dressed fancily? I guess. That's how I have it translated. Yeah, it's still the question for it. But it does add something. So this is in verse 8. So if we go down to verse 8. Oh, fancy clothes. Okay. Or like a fancy cloak. So nothing actually significant. Yeah, like most of these are not actually like important. Here's the thing. The home of the king, or there in the home of the king. We got to see a prophet. Yes. I say to you, yes. Yeah, see, the thing is, I'm looking at just these little notes here, and nothing would actually change the meaning all that much. What's the next big one, though? What verse is it? Maybe he noticed something I didn't. Oh, yeah, okay. Some of these, if you switch them out because they change places, considering that these are questions, you actually can read them differently, right? So, called segmentation. So let's see, for verse 7. Missing something? Okay, yeah. Yeah, this verse contains two questions. According to the text, the first question ends with the verb theasesthai, to see. What did you come out into the desert to see? It is also possible to make a break before. Oh, I see. This right here. That's what we're looking at. It's also possible to make a break beforehand and say, why did you come out into the desert? To see, and then, yeah, it goes on here. Davies and Allison correctly note the sense is not altered. Yeah, so it's not a huge deal. So this would be like, what was it, verse 7? If we were to split it that way, in verse 7, we could perhaps say, what did you go out to see in the desert? To see, yeah, what did you go out to see in the desert? Sorry, what did you go out in, or why did you go out into the desert? To see a reed being shaken by wind. So yeah, it doesn't really change the sense. And then verse 8, we see the same thing. Let's go down here to verse 8. Right here. Because I said these two are sometimes transposed, which means they switch places in some manuscripts. This one, interestingly, you don't see. But he notes here, as in the previous verse, the first question may end with the verb idein, which is to see. As in the text, what did you go out and see? But it is also possible to make a break before the verb idein and say, why then did you go out? And this would be like to see a man in like a fancy dress, or dress fancily or something. Again, the meaning is not really altered. We see the same thing. I can see why they switched it sometimes. But sorry about the dog barking, if you hear him. So verse 9, same thing happens here as well. We can see again that these two have been transposed in some readings. So as in the previous note, the first question may end with the verb idein, as in the text, or it may end with the verb exultate, or you went out. The matter is further complicated by the fact that some manuscripts have the word. He notes that that they have a different word order. The reading in the UBS 4 text is ambiguous and is more likely original, since the variant reading removes the ambiguity. So that's the note there. Maybe that's something I'll note. That's something I'll note in my commentary here. So these are verses 7 through 9. There are segmentation issues that can change the actual question. But not the meaning. However, to get around the ambiguity, some scribes transpose the word order. So for this one, I'm actually going to note both, right? I'm actually going to note Omenson, 15 through 16. And also SQE, which is the Greek text that we're currently reading from. SQE 151. Yeah, nothing too major. So verse 15 is our next big one for ears. Okay. What I miss? Yeah, you missed everything, Chrissy. We're doing some translating, but also some textual commentary. Just going over some very small, slight changes among manuscripts, because that's just what I do now. Let's see. Like this, verse 10. So there's an addition here. So some manuscripts would add it. So the translators of this text, or I guess the transcribers of this text, they think the edition is not original. So such a thing. So this has been written. This isn't the perfect. So you see here. Yeah. Oh, God damn it. So concerning him, it has been written. Yeah, you kind of gotta make your way around Destin there. So if we go to the textual note here in verse 10. Yeah, it just added 4. This is such a stupid. This just means, yeah, it doesn't change it at all. It would just be like, it makes it a bit more official sounding. Like, for such a thing, for such as a thing that has been written concerning him, instead of that exact same sentence without 4. Behold, I send my angel before your face. Send my angel before your face. Is that we're still in verse 10. It does not look like there's any significant variation there. He'll prepare your way in front of you. Truly I say to you, truly I say to you, no one has been raised. All right, how did I translate this? Hold on. Yeah, truly I tell you, among those born of women, no one who has been raised is greater than John the Baptist. But the smaller one, the smallest ones in the kingdom of the heavens, is greater than him. Yeah. No, smaller, right? Yeah, it's smaller, right? The smaller one. Yeah. This is comparative. It's not a superlative. Let's see. From the days of John the Baptist until oh my god, I know this one. I've looked this one up multiple times. Why do I still... Is that... Hold on. Is that after? No, it's not after. Fuck. I've looked this one up multiple times and I keep forgetting. Already? Is it already? Shit. Yeah, but from the days of John the Baptist until now. A kingdom of the heavens suffers. Okay. Okay. So we have here some addition. So the kingdom of heaven suffers. And what else? What does that mean? It suffers violence, and violent people take her by force. Okay. Hot puzzle. Okay. Let's put this addition here in verse 12. No, that's an omission. Oh, okay, just an article. It's literally just an article. Nothing big. Who cares? Here we go. So this is and the law. That's what it says here in verse 13. For all the prophets and the law, until John, oh shit. Oh, were they prophesied? I want to see if did I put that in any better words? Yeah, so for every prophet and every law prophesied until John. Yeah, okay. So yeah, and the law is apparently omitted in some manuscripts. So if we go to verse 13 here, yeah, it's omitted in the Syriac, and is that Boeotian? Is that Boeotian manuscripts? Yeah, so some manuscripts just remove and the law, which is interesting. Might tell you more. See, that kind of stuff tells you more about the scribes than it does other people, or than it does the actual text. So it's missing a couple manuscripts. And the law. Let's continue on here. Right, so right here, okay. This is anyone who has ears, let him hear, right? This is a very common thing. I'm sure you've heard a million times. The filler expression, ears to hear, frequently occurs elsewhere, so it's not surprising that copyists added the infinitive. Okay. So how did I translate this a different way? He who has ears, let him hear. Oh, I see. Yeah, let him hear. Because, okay, so this... Right. This actually isn't that huge, but it is interesting. So this would be understood as a pronoun here. So, yeah, he having ears... this is let him hear. Because it's an imperative. But they would sometimes add to whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. As you can see here, ears to hear, let him hear. Very common. You know what? Yeah, I'll note that. So actually, that's a lot of manuscripts. Would I call that a moniker? Ears to ears to hear. No, not a moniker. Like, but if you say like whoever has ears to hear, that's a moniker, right? What category would you put that under? Or would you say it's a refrain? I don't know what I would call that. I'm sure there's a. I'm sure someone has better words. I don't know, an epithet, whatever. I'll put that in for now. Put an epithet for now. No, hold on. I'm just gonna use whatever word I'm gonna use. It's probably better anyways. No, it just says frequently the expression, right? Okay, okay, expression's good. Expression's good. I like expression. So I'm gonna note again. That's Olmanson. Hey, for anyone that is still here, how you guys doing? Are you guys okay with streams like this? I know that on one hand, it can probably be pretty boring. Hopefully you guys are like, I don't know if you guys are learning anything. I sure hope you guys are learning stuff, but there's no way of me knowing that. Like, are you guys fine with the chill streams? Do you guys like the, I don't know. I'm just trying to, I gotta figure out something to do in the meantime while we, decide what we're gonna do with the Quran show. Or, even when we have the studio fixed, what are we gonna do? Because we don't want to risk that happening again. Because we've had multiple, like, there have been multiple floods. But the issue that I'm finding is that we don't, like, usually they're not as destructive. This last flood was very destructive. So hopefully, like we're thinking about just like moving out of that studio entirely and just doing the show somewhere else, maybe over like Zoom or something. Not Zoom, fucking Streamlabs or something. And hey, Books in a Vault is great. That is a good idea, but at the same time, we still need to have the equipment, right? So we might change how we're doing the streams overall, because we don't want that happening again, especially with like the cuts to the National Weather Service. It's harder to predict things. We have less weather balloons. Yeah, it's just harder to do that stuff now. So it would come as more of a surprise every single time. Because this country is so good, best country in the world. But yeah, like the equipment getting ruined was definitely a big hit. Right, yeah, it would have to be a really good box. But yeah, the books are just one thing. It's the equipment that was like a couple grand worth of equipment altogether, probably more, honestly. If you include the lights in that. Yeah, the thing, that's what I thought, right? It is fun watching us together. Like we just have more fun with it together. But maybe we'll move it to a different place though. We'll have to figure it out. But either way, in the meantime, I hope you guys are enjoying streams like this. I was thinking about doing like Melchizedek research as well. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that as well because I still have that project to do, and that might be more fruitful because I still have to make that video. I'm like halfway through with the research. Got to read a couple books, but they're all like PDFs, so. Oh right, this is what is the quotation from? It's Matthew 11 verse. This is verse 15. This is verse 16. How did I have this? Yeah. And so from verse 14, and if you wish to accept, this is Elijah, the one about to come. He who has ears, let him hear. By what will I compare this generation? And this is wait a minute. Did I not note this? No, I didn't. Okay. Well, it's actually not even in here. Okay. Anyways, all right. So let's take a look at this again. And by what will I compare this generation? Okay, so we have here at the end, heteros, so the others. Yeah, the others. Yeah, down the marketplaces, calling to the others. So what's added here, or what's changed here in verse 16? So just a different spelling. And then what's added? What? That's weird. To the others of them. So it just expands the text a little bit. That's nothing significant. Is this sacrifices? Ethrenasimen. Okay. We played a flute for you. Oh, we played. Okay, we played a flute for you, and you did not dance. We played a flute for you. You did not dance. We wept, and you did not mourn. That's what this is. So we wept. We wept. And let's see what was added to that. Oh, we wept for you. Okay, we wept for you, and you did not mourn. Okay. Not huge, I would say. Okay, so just add. Okay, so because this is very flowy, kind of poetic style, right? So it looks like a lot of these manuscripts actually add pronouns, just to make it a bit more specific as to who is being referred to. Let me get to verse 19, where. Oh, really? So this is from the work, or from her works, at the end there. Verse 19. However, the children, okay. From her children instead of her works. That might be significant. Let's see if he has a note here in verse 19. He does. He does. Oh, he has another one. Yeah, okay, no, we just talked about that one. Yeah, the reading by her children, which has widespread manuscript support. Yeah, see this shit? This is pretty widespread. That's a bunch. Oh, and then all her children is right here. That's a lot. That is a lot of manuscripts that reading is included in. Was probably created by a copyist under the influence of the parallel passage in Luke 7:35. So if we go to Luke 7:35, yep, right here. All her works. In the Luke one. Well, no, hold on. This one says all her works. Oh, sorry, I misread that. Yeah, all her children, yeah. Yeah, from all her children. In verse 35 there. The readings with the adjective panton, all likewise were created under the influence of the passage, which has this adjective. Okay, so, this was, yeah, that's significant, I would say. So Luke 7:35. What was that? That was verse 19. Yeah. Yeah, wisdom is set right by her works. I'm gonna put this in parentheses. I'm gonna put all in parentheses. What chapter was it? 7. 735. Yeah. Yeah, looks about right. Okay. But yeah, look at that amount of manuscripts. It's actually crazy. In Highland, and after the Chris pick, I got my books up high. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Yeah, just a good thing to keep it away from any potential floodwaters. The gear unfortunately cannot be salvaged. The microphones themselves might be okay. They seem to have been just above the water line. So maybe those are okay. But the actual, like, the video switcher board, I think, is fucked, and the actual, like, audio board is fucked. Pretty sure. Yeah, maybe keep some of the unnecessary things in a different spot, potentially. Yeah, I think that considering the amount of damage, they're gonna be redoing the entire studio, like, completely. There's this big, what you don't see, right? Actually, you can kind of tell from the video I posted about this when I was kind of, walking around and we were assessing the damage. Furthausen 2666, huge dono, thank you so much. I'd like to help to get the books for Suck to return. Heard the Quran ones, was so bored. Yeah, you know what, I totally get that. That it is a lot better to read that book with people. It is kind of a dreary read, but thank you so much anyways. That's a huge donation that would really help us out with quite a few things. Yeah, I have yet to add the Suck books to the wish list. I have added the other ones, but I did not add the Suck ones yet. But I will be doing that. I didn't think it was as important to put those down right away immediately because I wasn't gonna, like, forget those. Because we say them at the beginning of every stream, so we can definitely find those again. We probably won't get the Penguin Classics one. I don't even think we used that once on the show. I think maybe we actually used it once on the show. But, like, everything other than that, yeah, I'll be adding to the wish list for that one. Because a lot of this stuff was really good, right? Because I actually have a translation from Abdullah Yusuf Ali, like, the big fat one that we were using, the big green one. It was his translation, but then with commentary. The one that I have here at my place is just the translation. So we had we had 5 or 6. Okay, so we had the Quran and the Bible from Gabriel Syed Reynolds. We had the Quran from Maulana Muhammad Ali, Abdullah Yusuf Ali. We had a thematic commentary on the Quran. We had the study Quran. But I don't remember exactly which one it was. And then we had another one. I forget what the other one was. I have to check back on those streams where we introduced them all. But those were some of them that I remember off the top of my head. The Quran and the Bible from Reynolds was pretty cool to have, though. Let's see here. All right, let's do a little bit more. A little bit more work here. So we're now to verse 20. Looks like. Excuse me. Not excuse me, really. I don't care. Well, tell him. Did he say anything? No, nothing important. Okay. And then he began to. Oh shit! What is that? Denounce. When they began to denounce the cities, in which. In which most of his powers, most of his powers took place. So like the cities in which he did things the most. Although we have an addition here, potentially. Oh, it just adds Jesus. They do that a lot, where they just add a name. Oh, this is the are we in the woes section? Oh no. Okay. Okay. These are fucking annoying. Like these were so annoying. If this is the part that I'm thinking of. No. Not yet. There's a part later, one of the later chapters, where it's just a series of woes and the chapter is very long, and translating it was really fucking annoying. So Chorazin, woe to you, Bethsaida, since if the powers produced in you had been produced in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago. In sackcloth and okay. Is that ashes? Is that what it says? Ashes? Yeah, in sackcloth and ashes. We have an addition here. Yes, this is repent. So let's take a look at this addition in verse 21. Here we go. Is that, I want to say that means like sit down or sitting. I want to say that's what that means, but I don't quite remember. I'm serious right now. Why is this not working? Yeah. So they are. So participle. Okay. Okay. So this addition would be that they are. Yeah, in there they would be sitting in sackcloth and ashes. And this exists in a few manuscripts. We have here Sinaiticus. This is... Yeah, so Sinaiticus. Claromontanus, is that what it's called? Or no, wait, hold on. No, it's Codex Ephraimi? Is that what C is? Sometimes I forget some of these, right? There are quite a lot of them. Let's see, big capital C. What's that codex? Is this on this list? I feel like it should be, right? I'm checking a different list. Hold on. Like I have a list of Sigla here, and it doesn't look like it's on that list, which is strange. Or it's on the list, but it doesn't actually say what it is, which is weird. Yeah, it doesn't actually say what it is. Okay, okay. I guess I forget whichever one C is. But yeah, Codex C. I know it's a big Unshul manuscript, so doesn't matter too much right now. So there was, but a few manuscripts actually say that they were specifically sitting in sackcloth and ashes. And that is in verse 21. And what's that? What page is this? 153. There's a lot of other projects that I want to do, but it's hard to like jump back into doing projects for like, I don't know, for some reason it's just really hard for me to concentrate, right? Because like I have this that I'm working on, but I know this is going to take a while, but I want to do another project along the way, and I think maybe I should just do something like short just to hold me over, right? Because like jumping back into something like the Melchizedek one would be that one would also be very time consuming, so I'm not sure. I guess I'm just kind of stuck in this waffly position of not knowing which one I want to do first. I think there was one video that I wanted to do that would have required me to read a book in German, and my German's just not that good. I can read parts of it in German, but not the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll find something small to like actually like produce some real content on. Alright. Let's see, where am I? So now into verse 22 it looks like. Is it nothing? No, I guess nothing on verse 22. And you, Capernaum, wait. I feel like I recognize that. No, so nothing up with verse 22. Verse 23, you, Capernaum, will not be exalted unto heaven. That's what that means. That's right, exalted. I knew it meant, like, I knew like highest was a part of that, but I was like, oh, I forget what that means. Yeah, you, Capernaum, will you not be exalted unto heaven? So if we take a look at some of the variations here, so let's say the question changes. So let's go down to verse 23. Oh, or until the heavens. Wait, hold on. Is that right? This would be until they are exalted. And this one would be until they exalt. Until the heavens exalt. That's a weird variation. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a... Yeah, doesn't look like it's important. Okay, so it looks like this would just be so kata. This is from built off of is this built off kata bino? I feel like it is. Does that go down? That would make sense. Yeah, you will go down into Hades. And this is sometimes changed for. This is interesting. Kata bibas. Oh shit, this is tough. Kata bibasthese. So I don't know what that means. Or kata bas. Yeah, okay. There be a perfect somewhere in here somewhere? That's what it looks like. So let's take a look at what the hell that means. Oh my god. Why does it always do this? I don't even think I've seen this word before. No, what? Kata bibasthese. Okay, so what does just the first part of that mean? What? That's crazy. Okay, so I can't find it in the lexicon. Interesting. Interesting. Well, let's see what we can do to solve this problem, shall we? Did I spell it right? Kata bibasthese. Yeah, okay. So if I can't find it in the lexicon. Oh. Is that why? Wait, hold up. Is this in yeah, let me check the opposite one here. Let me check Luke here. No. Why is it using a different form? Actually, can you guys see that? I don't know if you guys can see that. So it goes from katabeste, so from katabino. So I'm guessing that'd be katabino too, but But I have not seen that form. That looks weird. No, that's not it. Yeah, cut the okay. So is this off of oh, I see. This is the form in the Textus Receptus. That explains a lot of things. Okay, so it's from Kata Bibazo, apparently. So if I go there, no, Kata Bibazon, Plutarch uses it. Bring down. There we go. So it changes, so instead of going down into Hades, you will go down to Hades. You will be brought down into Hades. Okay, that is way too much work for such a small one. But it's important to note it is in the Textus Receptus, or other, not found its way into the King James. So that's something to note here. I think it's actually the majority, right? Like, look at these. Like, look at all these places it exists. Like, that's a lot of manuscripts. Use brought down. Just in the Textus Receptus. And of course, the KJV. Just another L for the KJV, as is tradition. Yeah, I was wondering, like, what the fuck does this mean? Like, where is it? Can't even find the root form anywhere. But no, I found it eventually. Okay, so it looks like at the end of verse 24 we got something. Oh, okay. So it just changes it's a singular and a plural, that's it, okay. In that time, at the time Jesus answered, and said, God, I forget what that means. Praise. That's what it means, praise. Praise you. Okay. So if we go to... Yeah, praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and the... Yeah, so this would be a Lord of the heaven and the earth. Okay, here's something. Well, this is... Okay, it was verse 25. Let's check the first note, verse 25. Oh. I was reading that? So, Ekrupsas. Yeah, you hid these things. So this would be Apekrups, okay. So you like hide them from? Not that big. From the wise people. From the wise ones, I guess. These things from the wise and the intelligent. And revealed them to infants. The wise and intelligent. So an intelligent, is it just like deleted sometimes, or what's the deal there? Let's find out. Verse 25. Oh, sometimes it changes it to so this is like the capable, I guess. So sometimes intelligence is changed to the capable, which that was another way that they would say someone is like intelligent if they have good ability. So let's see. Oh, one place, one manuscript, and another one, a couple, two, another two omitted. I mean, you could say this is the powerful, right? Not just capable, but the powerful. No, in this context, powerful probably makes more sense. So, I'm at the wrong spot here in my commentary. So this is verse 25. Okay. So this actually makes a lot of sense. So, so one manuscript changes the intelligent to the powerful. I'm going to put / capable because it can mean both things, although I think powerful makes more sense. I'm going to note that the Syriac omits it. And what is the page number here? 154. So I also have a note here. Verse 25. At that time, Jesus answered and said, I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, since you hid these things from the wise and the intelligent and revealed them to infants. Did I fuck this up somewhere? Okay, so it could echo the whole little children motif that we've been seeing, right? Because there's because again, disciples were often called like, you know, these little children, right? Any follower. So so there could be echoes of the little children here, of the little children motif here. So nepios, infant, implies childish or silly, if used metaphorically. R. Alan Culpepper, this is part of my commentary here now, kind of in a way. R. Alan Culpepper notes that this would be, quote, the simple, who are also righteous. So I think that if we're taking that interpretation, a scribe who would understand that interpretation, I could totally see how they could change that intelligent, you already have the wise. So you could do the powerful, right? Because like these little children, that would take away their wisdom and their power in a more metaphorical sense. To kind of humble them more. So I could see a reason for that. So they're neither the wise nor powerful. Yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. Okay. Hopefully my reasoning made sense to everyone else too. Although it's entirely plausible, I was just saying nonsense there. Let's see if we can finish up this chapter. Oh, this entire verse. Hold up. Let's see what's going on with this entire verse here. Yes, the Father, since in such a way seems good to be before you. Yes, the Father does. Yeah, does such goodwill in front of you. So all of verse 26 here. Let's check the notes here. Oh, my Father, since in front of you does goodwill to me. So that's found in Irenaeus as well. Oh, is this woe? I think this is a woe, right? I'm gonna fuck that up. Or not? Oh, this is just, okay. This would be like, what? How is that even allowed? Okay. It says, okay, ha or ah, like just some exclamation of admiration. Like, let's just do like, oh, right. It's not the same, but you could see that. It's in Mark apparently. So exclamation of admiration or astonishment. So it's a different kind of woe. It's like woe spelled with in AH. Like whoa. That's funny. So this is actually omitted by Irenaeus. Or it's actually changed, sorry. It's actually changed by Irenaeus. So, whoa, my father, okay, hold on. My father does, or since, yeah, my father, since he does goodwill to me in front of you. In such a way. Yeah, so that's funny. Okay. So I'm gonna note that. That's such a stupid change, too. Like, out of all ways that he could change it. That's so stupid. Let's see here. Yeah, all are handed over to me by my father, and no one knows the son except the father, nor does anyone know the father except the son, and to whoever the son wishes to reveal to. Let's see, what are the changes here? 27. Oh. So there's another change here. The father except the son, nor whoever nor except. Wait, what? Nor the son except the father. Okay. Oh, so it changes. Okay, gotcha. Everyone's handed over to me by my father, and no one knows the son except the father, nor the father. Yeah, nor the father. So nor no one knows the father. No one knows the son except the father, nor no one knows the father except the son. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I feel like there's something significant here. Oh, okay, I see here. So when I said this one, for kata bibazo, right? You shall be brought down or you will go down. May have been changed to agree with the text of Isaiah. On the other hand, the reading in the text is preferred because it is supported by the earliest manuscripts. Okay, gotcha. So I'll go back and note some of that. Okay, so here the reading in the text says, and no one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son chooses to reveal. It is perhaps not surprising that some copies changed the word order to say, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and no one knows the Son except the Father, and anyone, wait, hold on. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son. Oh, so they okay, so they just changed the order there. So we've seen that before. We've seen something like that before. Earlier today, actually. We've seen changes in word order. Wait a minute. Wait, what did he say? No one knows the Son except the Father. Yeah. So they changed it to no one knows the Father except the Son. No one knows the Son except the Father. Okay, yeah. They just changed the order. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Come towards me. So this is just removed in some manuscripts. So instead of coming to me, it just says come all. That just adds a form of is. Will be. And this is from me is omitted in one manuscript. Nothing too significant there. All right. I might continue with some of this stuff later as well. However, I'm gonna call that for the stream today. We did all of the textual commentary for chapter 11. I think that's pretty good. But I will continue with some of this stuff. I do want to say thank you for those that did join us today. Thank you for Ferthausen for the huge dono of 2666. Massive. And I will be, I don't know, maybe I'll, if Dino is still streaming, maybe I'll bug Kip in there for a little bit. But thanks everyone for joining today. Hopefully you would come back for something like this. This gives me a reason to continue kind of working on this stuff. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that. You can join me for some of the textual criticism. And that should be all for today. And again, thank you everyone for joining us. And you know what? I'll see you whenever I do this again, which maybe it'll be Wednesday.